It's a new year and a new chance for you to make a fresh start with your compliance. We're going to be bringing you a daily tip, strategy, or idea that you can use to improve your program. Here's your host, Tom Bach, the Compliance Evangelist.
Day 14, How Investigative Triage Can Drive Culture. One area that organizations rarely consider impacting culture is the assessment and triage in a hotline or speak up process. A proactive approach allows for increased response time and the ability to set realistic expectations for stakeholders, but this is a key component for improving corporate culture. One mechanism not thought of by compliance professionals is setting service level agreements or SLAs to set response times based on the nature of the allegation. This concept, borrowed from software customer services practices, ensures that employees who come forward with complaints or allegations are provided with clear understanding of the expected timeline for response and communications. By setting these expectations, organizations can foster a culture of open communication and trust. Obviously, a triage process is particularly important for multinational companies that operate across different regions. With varying compliance programs and regulations in different countries, having a well-documented process becomes essential. It allows compliance departments to navigate the complexities of compliance programs and investigations, ensuring consistency and adherence to local laws. Technology also plays a crucial role in establishing effective compliance processes. Many organizations still lack an efficient means of documentation and training processes. Implementing technology such as case management solution can help establish accountability and trust in an organization. This allows for the establishment of clear processes, monitoring of performances, and provides documentation that can be used to assess the overall effectiveness of your compliance program. There is an overriding need for organizations to build accountability into their compliance processes. By having a documented triage process and using technologies, organizations can ensure that complaints and allegations are handled in a timely and consistent manner. This not only fosters a culture of speak up, but also provides employees with confidence that their concerns will be seriously taken and addressed promptly. It is important to recognize the trade-offs involved in balancing different factors when implementing a triage process in technology in an organizational compliance program. While efficiency and speed are crucial, organizations must consider the need for thorough investigations and the protection of employee rights. Striking the right balance requires careful consideration and ongoing evaluation of the process to ensure continuous improvement. The triage process and technology play a vital role in promoting corporate culture, and by proactively assessing and triaging compliance and allegations, organizations can increase response time and set realistic expectations for stakeholders. It is important to consider the impact on employee rights and the need for thorough investigations when making decisions about the importance of the triage process and technology in organizational compliance. So, what are today's 3 key takeaways? Number 1, think about how triage can be used to foster culture in your company. Number 2, borrow from software and set service level agreements, make them public, and then adhere to them to engender trust in your organization. Number 3, it is important to recognize the trade-offs involved in balancing factors when implementing a triage process. This is Tom Fox again. I'd like to tell you about an exciting new tool that I have developed with Sam Silverstein, head of the Accountability Institute. It's called the Culture Audit. We're going to premiere this tool at a webinar on Tuesday, November 28th at noon. I've linked to the webinar in the show notes. In this webinar, you will learn how you can assess the current state of your corporate culture, how you can use the cultural assessment audit as a gap analysis, and how you can use the cultural assessment audit as a roadmap for remediation, and how this process will provide a documented, auditable trail if a regulator ever comes knocking. I hope you'll join Sam Silverstein and myself on Tuesday, November 28th at noon Central Time, where we premiere the new software tool, the Culture Audit. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I hope you'll subscribe, rate, and review wherever great podcasts are listened to. Thank you for listening to this episode of 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program. For listening to this episode of 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program.